Hi, nice to see you here again. Today is we're going to talk about we don't do things for fun. This is actually video number 21, and we are on the step number 2, which is check your idea. So I think in previous video I've talked about don't fall into the shock syndrome, right? I talk about the funny episode that I had with two guys. One is a doctor, one is a teacher, Mr. Lim, and another one is a nerd called Brad, and they actually have a lot of idea, but they have forgotten about the value of the idea. They never do the check your idea. So actually that was the time when I realized that we need a system to check the value of the idea before we move on. So I created that check your idea. There are 10 questions. I think you will see that in other videos. I explain the 10 questions, and each question will give you the points, and at the end of the day, when you get a total, and that total will compare. I have a table to tell you that point that you score, the value of the idea. Right? If you could browse some of my videos, I think you can see it. And for this video, I want to talk about we don't do things for fun. Really, we don't do things for fun. In fact, I myself has actually fell into one of those those traps, because I did not have anyone to guide me. Right? I did not have anyone to guide me. I was trial and error, and I learned from my own mistakes. So because I have learned from my own mistake, that's why I want to share you, so you don't fall into that mistake. All right. So now I think in chapter 1 we talk about how to generate new ideas. I think you have gone through the videos and you have already learned the way to give birth to new ideas. And I've also gave you the iSketch form, whereby it is so easy. Given you the thinking tools, the formula. So I think you have passed through that. You have checked your ideas through that. But now what happened? What do we do from here? This is important. I'd like you to do two things. Before you move on, I need you to do two things. First, you have to check we call it novelty check. Novelty check is to check that your idea is new. Not only in Malaysia, or not only new in your country, but new around the world. So you got to go into what we call a patent search. I think in other video I spoke about it widely, where the patent office you should go to. USPTO is my favorite. There's EPO, the European Patent Office. There's also JPO, Japan Patent Office, Australian Patent Office, and so forth. So to make sure that your idea is new compared to their idea. So that's called novelty check. So the second thing you should do is a commercial feasibility check. The commercial means at the end of the day, let's say at the end of the day you manage to make a prototype, you manage to come to commercialization, you have a factory, you produce it, or you have a team, you roll out. But what happens where there's no commercial value? You lose everything. All right. So these are the two main things you do. You have to do this too, otherwise you fail like me. Last time I have created an award-winning product called multi-locking pulley. It is a pulley, it's an aluminum pulley that can be dismantled like a Lego, and then where the parts are worn out, you change, and then you can use it again without having to change the other parts. I thought that was a brilliant idea, isn't it? Yeah. In fact, I got a grant for it. I won the National Inventor Award in the country. I have a big recognition and so forth, but I failed. I failed to do the commercial check because the pulley hasn't got real commercial value, because pulley are made of cast iron, and cast iron are made by very low value process, and they are not in a hurry to pay big money for a nice looking pulley like I did, or nice pulley where you can change where the part is worn out. They are not ready for that. So I was too early for the industry, so I failed that part because I was young, I was naive, I don't have anyone to guide me, and I learned the hard way. All right. So this journey actually is dark. It's very cold and hazardous. So I would like to advise you to actually do a lot of research. Like what I say, these two areas, in the case of a pulley that I have invented, the multi-locking pulley, the novelty is high because you can go around the world. There's no such thing. In fact, I have patent in Malaysia. I also have patent in America. I'm one of the very rare Malaysian that has a patent very far away in America. I thought that was my market, but I was young. I did not know that the pulley is cheap enough. My pulley, even though it's cheaper, but people are not willing to change at that time. Like I say, I was a bit too early. So it's important because the amount of money and the time that you turn in, you put in to turn the idea that we have now into a prototype, it takes a long time. You spend a lot of money. So you must remember the money you spend is a one-way street. It goes, it doesn't come back. It goes, it doesn't come back. The time also you spend, it doesn't come back. So you need to be careful. So I've learned the hard way. All right. So this how do I say market research, right? I think this is where I failed because I think I spoke about the novelty check. Novelty check, you can go into Google Patent, USPTO, like I mentioned just now, MyIPO, EPO, and all the patent office around the world. The chances you will see other people's invention, you can check your idea against other people's idea. So that is a way for you to check. But how about market research? Now, what are the questions when you ask? I mean, you should look for when you are doing a market research. First, you must ask, who are the market player in the who are the player in the market? You need to know. Then, what is your niche if you compare against theirs? You need to know because people are so used, like I say, people are so used to cast iron pulley. They're not ready for those high-end, sophisticated pulley like mine, which is actually light. It's only one fraction of the weight. In fact, it's only 1/3 the weight of the existing pulley. So I thought that I have a winner, but that niche is not good enough, right? And the third thing is you need to know the segment of the market that you are attacking, right? For example, you are doing, say, pharmaceutical. Then you must know the drugs that you are designing is for which market. You see, like for example, Viagra came into accident. Viagra is actually a fertilizer for chicken farm. So that's to get the chicken to be fat. And some people say, so well, why don't I try? So they went and give people to try and see whether they can get fat or not, a human being. But as the result came in, it says, well, I get fat, but my thing also stand. so there was a market segment for it, for men who couldn't get an erection. So Viagra became one of the biggest discovery in the drugs industry, and they make billions of dollars. All right, and you need to know also who are the majority of the user. Even though you have a segment, but you got to know the majority, maybe the age, or maybe you have to know the behavior of your customer. So if the more you know, the better you are. All right. So again, you have to avoid the shock sensory syndrome. You have to develop idea with careful consideration of the risk that you are going to take. And of course, you are getting into an unconventional practice where you are going to a territory that is uncharted, you have never been before. That is dangerous. Right? I repeat again, you are going to an uncharted territory, and this is your new product is an unconventional product. So this is the risk that you're going to take. Only you will know. Actually, you don't have to employ Ernst & Young, or you don't have to employ those big five to do a survey for you. You do yourself because it is your product. You know better than all those big guys or anyone else in the market. So that message to you is that the risk is in your hand. Okay, you have to find out yourself. It is actually doom when there's no value. I have to be very blunt with you. When I say doom means that's the end of your world for you if there's no market. So actually, market is king. In fact, I have to be very blunt with you. If we have a product like my pulley, I have a product so nice, shining, can have a multi-function and so forth, but nobody wants to buy. I died. Yes, I died with an award-winning invention. So I have learned my lessons. So again, the novelty check is also important. If you have no no novelty check. So end of the day, there's no commercial value also. Why? Because when you don't have a patent that is novel, that means somebody in Vietnam has it or somebody in New Zealand has it. So you cannot get a patent. Once you cannot get a patent, there's no commercial value. You cannot sign a license. You cannot go out to sell and say, look, that's mine proprietary. No, it's not true because you don't have a patent. People can make same exactly like yours. So you have to be careful, all right, on the novelty and also on the market. So on the market research again, I want to also talk about the other sensitive area. One of them is actually the pricing. The price that you offer to your customer, it has to be attractive, right? If it's not attractive, sorry man, people are not willing to try a more expensive product for untested brand like yours. No way, man. No way. All right. So you have also to consider about your distribution network. When you roll out into the market, how are you going to sell? You sell through a group of guys who help you to promote, or you're going to promote yourself, which is actually very difficult. I have to tell you, this world is so harsh, so big. Everybody wants to pull you down. So you have to think of a strategy how to enter into the market, and of course, how can you get your customer to buy from you? Of course, you can do online, you can do whatever your distribution, but make sure they can get access to you. And more importantly, you must get repeat customer. The same customer that buys from you will come back and come back and come back. Then only you can get a winner. All right. So strictly speaking, your success depends heavily on your market. Yes. You can only be successful if the market buys from you. Like for example, the pulley that I have. It's an award-winning product. I got a government grant. I got a title, Malaysia National Inventor Award. But when I put out in the market, they don't want to buy. When they don't want to buy, I fail. All right. So somehow, strictly speaking, market is more important than your novelty. All right. Idea is idea. Idea is no use when nobody wants to buy. Okay, so you can only be successful when there is a demand for your market, right? Don't fool yourself. Don't fall into the shock syndrome. Only when there is a demand for your product, only your project can be successful. All right. So I hope this video has helped you to consider the importance of two things I mentioned: novelty of your idea. But more importantly, the market demand, the market that wants to use your product. All right? Okay? So I see you again in the next video. I wish you all the best. Thank you.